right, ready? Cool. It's the way he pushed the bag all the way into his face. Okay.
It works.
Oh man, that's gonna be annoying too. Sorry. What's up, everybody? Back on the podcast. Thoughts to the table.
Why the fuck is there a soccer ball?
It's not a soccer ball.
Same difference.
It's a volleyball.
Why the fuck is there a ball?
It's not the same difference.
I have many balls in my room, okay? Pause.
That's what she said.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Anyway.
No, I was going to let that sit for a second and then move on.
Okay. Anyway, we're back.
Disappear. Close enough.
Worst intro ever. Okay, so with me today, I got my boy Legacy, like always.
I now disappeared again.
Yeah, and then I got Josh with me, Backlog Bear himself. Today, we're going to talk about, well, I mean, what else will we talk about? It just released, and we've all seen it, surprisingly. I'm surprised that this dude saw it. And we're going to talk about Wakanda Forever! We're going to talk about it, all right? That's the first thing we got to talk about, at least. Okay, who want to go first with their first impressions of the movie? Because I could go on and on, but I don't want to steal people's thunder off the rip.
I mean, cinematically, it's amazing.
Bro, like, I didn't think... Josh, I'm going to let you go in a sec. I didn't think... Because I knew it was longer. Because I heard people say it was going to be longer. I did not think... Stop it. I can't even see half your fingers.
I can't even see my hands.
I didn't think it would be so much longer, but I'm glad it was. For, like, what they did with it, art-wise,
Yes.
like, it made it so much better for how long it was.
And honestly, it didn't feel that long.
Mm.
Like, it was, in my opinion, pretty well paced. There were a couple clunky moments. I want to hear what y'all rated out of 10 here in a second, but I just had to sit and like feel all of the emotions after I walked out of that movie. Just in some ways, absolutely incredible. In other ways, we'll talk about that in a second. But I just like sit with the emotions of everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, oh god.
Well, so we have a work group chat, and in it, somebody was like, "Is this a movie that I should go see, or is it like not worth the Marvel burnout thing?" Yeah, whatever that is. And it was like, immediately I was like, you need to go. Not really need, but I'm like, it is worth seeing. Like
100%.
Because you don't have to know a bunch about Marvel to enjoy the movie. It feels long, and if you were like me, I had to go to the restroom like with an hour and like 15 minutes left in the movie, but I just sat through it like I didn't care. But like,
Paced myself through Endgame, so like,
yeah, and like I get what you were saying too,
you
though.
figure out how to sit this long.
Like I do get what you're saying though, because there was a couple of moments where like it would cut between areas, and I was like, why did they do it like that? And then it kind of made sense as it went on, but it felt like almost jarring when it first happened. And I guess they kind of got a little repetitive with the whole like, you know, naming location thing. You know, like I know there was some other. There was probably another Marvel movie that did it, or maybe it was another one where it was like every location they automatically put the words on the screen, and it was like, okay,
Yeah,
sometimes we don't.
Infinity War and Endgame were like that.
Yeah, sometimes like we don't really care too much about where this is, but like I get it. Yeah, no. Initially, right after I did a little solo reaction, like as soon as I got out the theater. It was literally 2:30 in the morning, but I was sitting in my car in the AMC lot. All the lights were off. Like nobody was there anymore, but I was still sitting there ranting about this. And I think, if I remember correctly, I gave it a 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. I'm pretty sure that's what I gave it, at least initially. Or maybe I gave it an 8 initially. I can't really remember. I think I ended with a 9, though.
Legacy, what do you got?
A burger.
Motherfucker, bro, could you participate in the conversation?
Be serious for like 2 seconds, Legacy. Jesus.
We're talking about movies here, man.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, answer then.
I was thinking, fuck off.
I give it a strong 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd say 8.5 maybe.
And my gripes with the film are not inherent to the film itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's more the choices that they've made building the MCU and the comic book bullshit
That's fair.
than anything else. Like this movie was a masterclass in acting, in character, like in actors looking at the role that they're being given and saying, "I'm going to inhabit fully this character." Every single performance in this film is like top tier.
Dude, I was gonna,
especially where the MCU is considered, but like, oh man, just like running down, right? Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett deserves that Oscar nomination, man.
Man, I didn't say enough about acting in my initial reaction either, bro. Angela Bassett and what's her freaking name? Whoever plays Shuri, I already forgot her name.
Letitia Wright.
Bro, they murdered every part of their role.
Absolutely.
Every single part.
Oh, every moment they were on screen, it was electric. They absolutely held the camera and your attention the entire time. It's just
the way it was like, dude, the way that they like, I don't even know.
In
man.
a statement.
It was like the way that they kind of, it was initially being like, okay, this is how now the queen has to handle losing her husband and her son. To then like, even though like the initial focus was straight up on Shuri, it was still just like the shift between her like the queen coming to terms with this and pushing through, staying strong, to then Shuri trying to figure out like how to deal with it as well, with all her regrets or revenge or whatever, to then that climactic point where she doesn't even get to like give any last advice or anything like that. She's gone again, and then it's all on Shuri now, and it's like
full spoilers. Full spoilers.
I forgot to put that at the beginning of this.
We gotta put this at the beginning. But full spoilers, because we're gonna get into the nitty gritty of this, because this is how we are.
Look at me. I am the queen now. Or you are the queen now.
Oh my god. That line, man. That line in the theater, I was just like, you're the queen now.
Wait a sec. That happened after the funeral?
So it happened. No. The minute.
Oh right, because Namor said it.
The minute that they find out that she's dead, and Namor is floating by the window,
and he says
the broken
that,
window, and he looks at Shuri and goes, "You're the queen now."
Bro, the thing is, I wasn't really in it though, because, and it wasn't at fault of the movie at all, but because of like just how chaotic the whole situation was, I heard it, but that Loki flew over my head, and then as soon as I saw Kiki, I don't remember her name, I'm calling her Kiki, the American girl, get resuscitated,
Riri.
Riri, there it is. When she got resuscitated, I was like, oh no. I legit, dude, that was probably like the fourth moment in the movie where I almost cried. Like, I swear to God.
So off the rip, right? We have this amazing trailer that comes out. The first trailer, fucking fire, right?
Fire.
I know that you reacted to it. I didn't get to react to it with you, but absolutely incredible. Almost brought me to tears watching the trailer. Most of the scenes that they put in the trailer, you would think are about T'Challa.
Yeah.
And Chadwick, and I have another point to make about that here in a second. But most of those scenes are in the first 5 minutes of the film, and you're just like, wait, hold up, and then you get the layers of like, oh, so Nakia is standing on the beach because she's like trying to find Shuri, and Ramonda is on, or Ramonda is on the beach because she's about to meet with Namor, and and like we kind of got the sense of that, but it was like she's meeting with Namor to save her daughter, and then this dramatic speech where it's like, I thought the have I not given everything, again, that line delivered in the movie, that should win the Oscar right there.
Woo!
I thought that was gonna be like a flashback or something. Because I thought it would be like, oh, we're gonna go back to during the snap, during the blip, and it's gonna be she's in this situation where she's lost her whole family to the snap, not the situation, not losing, like Shuri is, like they don't know where she is, and then Okoye getting busted down, that like that on top of Ramonda's speech was just like,
dude, legit. Angela, like, bro, I just can't. She was so freaking good in this movie. So incredible. Like, every moment just, like, hit. Like, every time, like, you knew it, too. The thing that I found, like, kind of weird was, like, with Okoye, right? It's like she strips her of her title, but then, then she gets murdered by Namor. And then it's like, they kind of never be like, okay, she's like reinstated as general thing. They kind of were just like, well, she's gonna help him fight,
Yeah, and that was she might not technically be a member. She might be. She might have been given the suit,
right? If she got given that suit and stuff, but like if Shuri stays as like, or like she fights for her right on the throne, because that thing was kind of up in the air, so she didn't show up at that ceremony.
I assumed that M'Baku is king now.
Yeah,
that's what I took.
Like
from that.
If Shuri, for whatever reason, still ends up being like queen, then it's like, well, I feel like she would bring her back, or like, I don't even know. Where is I going with it? It's like, I feel like Shuri would bring her back because she knows that it wasn't like her fault that Shuri got kidnapped. Like, and she went with them instead of kidnapped. But if M'Baku is king, I don't know who he would have fought, because he said something about challenging the throne. It's like, he didn't fight nobody because Shuri wasn't there. But
yeah, somebody from the tribes could have stepped forward, but at that point, like, they've achieved a unified Wakanda, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is, it takes traumatic experiences. It's taken multiple.
Shuri probably trust him.
They were unified. Yeah, they were unified beforehand in a way, but now it's like, oh no, a Jabari is sitting on the throne. And one of the outcast tribes is sitting on the throne. And he's wise enough to embrace the technology that made Wakanda what it is. But at the same time, he's still going to have this sense of tradition and this wisdom. Dude, Winston Duke, man, like, such a thoughtful and powerful performance.
Yeah.
From the uncle figure, like that. That's because that's what they built him up as.
It's like I didn't think that they would have M'Baku be that kind of a character for this movie, but it like still worked so well. Even though even though she just goes plummeting down the plot of Revenge, and then kind of last minute just kind of on a dime. I know where you're going with this.
Okay, so the first thing I want to say, right? The reason why this movie started, like, is a strong 8.5 out of 10 for me, just like, regardless of everything else, was because it is a beautiful picture of grief and suffering and loss. and also healing. That if they didn't show the healing portion of that, it's not as effective as a movie.
That's true.
But they are showing Ramonda and Shuri and Okoye and M'Baku. They're showing all of these Nakia. They're showing all of these characters grieving.
Yeah.
In their own ways. It's not a blanket statement. Like, yes, everybody is obviously grieving, but Ramonda is trying to work through it. She's wiser. She, obviously trying to be a mother in the middle of all of that, a mother and a queen in the middle of all of that. Shuri is vengeful, and she doesn't believe in the same things that her elders did. She's trying to find solace in science, and she's finding it lacking, which is like a whole
elders.
A whole other thing, right?
The dude with that big ass disc in his lip.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What the fuck is that?
Listen.
Like, I think that's a whole cultural tribe thing, but still, man.
Yes, we're gonna leave it at that. And it's really not 100% clear how vengeful Shuri is until the ancestral plane moment.
Bro, okay, and with that moment,
flipped shit.
I about ran in the theater. I was like,
I about jumped up out my chair and ran around the theater because I knew that they had to bring him back somehow.
I didn't think they would though. I didn't think so. I figured it would just be like flashbacks.
I thought it was going to be a flashback or something. The way that they brought him back and the advice that he gives Shuri that she almost follows through on.
I still don't really. Okay, the thing is, right? I still don't get how that works though, because it's like, if it's supposed to be your ancestors, that's what the plane is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why is he there?
He's technically an ancestor,
but ancestor, not of an older generation though. You know what I mean? Because he's a cousin.
Yeah, if T'Challa had appeared, they would have been the same generation.
But I guess, because, what could make sense is that because she drew from a burnt one, well, not even the burnt one, because, no, he wasn't the last one to take it.
I don't think he was.
Well, he took it, but then they took one last one, and then T'Challa took it at the end of the first movie.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be like, oh, well, maybe it's a connection because he burned all the other ones and she took from that, and there's some magic.
And she wants to burn. She wants to burn the world.
I know she does, but it was because he took from these and they were rooted in his evil, and then she's replicates it from that also has some inclination, and yeah, she wants revenge and hates the entire world right now. But still, I'm he didn't need to be there. It was cool, but he didn't need to be there.
That brings me to a question, though. This is me not watching the first one, but why did she pick the Killmonger suit over the regular Black Panther suit? Is it more combat effective, or
See,
what?
And here's the thing. I don't think she picked the Killmonger suit, because she already made two versions in the first movie. Mm-hmm. One for T'Challa, both for T'Challa, but one was purple and one was gold. Killmonger just took the gold one. That one, I think she specifically designed for herself.
Yes,
I think so.
That was the implication I took from the moment in the lab after, because she looks at the two masks, and then walks past them and picks up the one that is intended for her.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that it's Killmonger's suit. It's just it is more fitted for her, and two, it's her funeral paint. It's her mourning paint, which I thought was a really interesting touch. And are we going to have that in her suit the next time we see her? Is she still going to be mourning the next time that we see her, or will she have moved past it? Will she have healed enough to be able to remove that?
Did we do another time jump after the big battle?
I think we had a
long one. Not a long one. I think it was a week or something.
Yeah.
I was busy geeking out because as soon as they, finished that, and then we saw her walking through Wakanda, they were doing the parallels with the first one, how she walks through the door and how T'Challa would walk through the door and dap up in the lab thing. Like I was like, dude, this is sick. But like, yeah,
Riri,
like,
I'm really intrigued by Riri's
dude,
character.
for real. I have no idea where she comes from, but I was
so
like,
Riri's
she might be sick.
Riri in the comics was Ironheart, the new version of Tony Stark.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Her entire thing is just because you say I can't is fuck you. I'm gonna do it. Recently in the comics, she's had a thing about being beaten by Thanos, which obviously we're not going to see. But it turned her from super cocky to slowly being less cocky. I think she's also supposed to have either her own series or film coming out soon.
She's got her own series, I think.
Disney Plus.
Which might bring us the return of any of the Stark original characters.
Mm-hmm.
You think we'll see her in Secret Wars?
They're going to bring RDJ back for voice work. In the comics.
Because he's an AI.
Yes.
Which makes sense because in game, of course, if you haven't seen it already, how the fuck have you not? It's
been 3 years, man. Yeah. Like if you haven't seen it yet, get with the times.
Yeah. But that AI / recording, which I'm using quotations for reasons we'll see in a couple. I'll explain in a couple seconds. But the fact that he knows exactly where his daughter is sitting, looks at her directly and goes, "I love you 3000," then blips out. Either that was super planned down to the precise point, or that is not an AI. That is not a recording. That is a full functioning remapping of his neural system, like it was in the comics.
Which is not far-fetched at all. So like,
no, not at all.
Yes, they could very easily put that in the MCU.
Yeah,
because we also saw that
it could be he backed up his brain before going into battle.
Yeah,
and this is how he's chosen to view himself, and that's like. That happens so many times in the comics. It really does. He's an AI as much as he is human in the comics, like genuinely. So it's like, we could write this off and bring back an iconic character, but only have his voice, and he's a mentor figure still. He's still the dad of the MCU. Like they could very, very easily do it. I do think they're going to.
The thing about this movie, though,
they pull it with like Secret Invasion.
That's what it's called. It's called Secret Invasion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or is it called like Secret Wars?
One is Secret Wars and one is Secret Invasion. I think Secret
Invasion is the Skrull takeover
phase. Yeah.
And Secret Wars is
so like the
end of the multiverse.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is why I'm thinking like either they're gonna say, hey, now Tony Stark is back, but he's a Skrull, and make it look like it's an obvious fake.
Yeah.
Kind of like what they did for what's it called? Mandalorian season 2 ending.
Oh, okay.
With how they did for Luke, because one, it wasn't the best, and two, they didn't fix it really later.
Yeah.
Also, fun fact about that, I know I'm on a tangent again, but with Boba Fett, with the Book of Boba Fett, when we saw Luke there, that was a deep fake. That the person who made it, like off Reddit and posted it, they hired him to do the work for them.
Bro, so I hate deep fakes. I hate it.
I mean, the other one was an actor who kind of looks like him, but not really.
I hate these freaking deep fakes.
Rioted him. Which really, I guess, the deep fake worked in their favor.
Listen, he got a job out of it.
Bro. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
He got to work on official Star Wars out of it, man.
I'd also
stop the Star Wars. Stop the Star Wars.
Not that. Going back to Black Panther. Him going, I brought the sun to my people. My first thought when I saw that was, man, where's fucking Dr. Octavius? Like, he should be there crawling around that goddamn sun.
Of your head.
Okay, the thing that I really like about this movie, right, is that unlike, they're starting to do this more, because of how complicated all these plot threads are now. The movies are not clear cut anymore. Like
they almost never are. Yeah.
No. Like first Black Panther, it's like, okay, we know that he beat the dude. The dude ends up dying, and then they make this progress to be like, oh, we're gonna unite with the rest of the world now. And when you do that, they definitely push the light that this is positive. This is the good ending. Like this is like good for the universe or whatever. they're starting to do it more where it's like stuff happens and you can't even tell if it was like good or not. Like if the character should have made a different decision or not. Like they did it with Spider-Man No Way Home. It's like you saved the world, but now no one knows who you are. Well, I mean, no one knows you are in a good way and in a bad way. And now with this one,
Wait
it's like
who are you?
And then with this one, they unite with Talokan, but it's like they're both ready to kill each other, and it's like, and then their leader isn't even like a leader.
It's a very tense alliance.
Exactly, it's like a whole mix of stuff, and I love that they do that now.
Yes, and it's more of a reflection. Like we had the whole MCU problem, right, where villains were concerned. Killing Killmonger off in the first movie made sense for where the MCU was at that point. But you killed one of the best villains in the MCU.
Yeah.
Point blank, end of story. You killed one of the best villains in the MCU.
I found my daddy with panther claws in his chest. I love that scene.
Why?
Your father killed his own brother. Didn't lose sleep over it.
Woo!
Long.
It's just, dude, I just love Michael B. Jordan, man. I just
Michael
love
B. Jordan, like top.
He's really good for acting.
He is on a tear right now, man. And we're about to get the same thing with Jonathan Majors. And it honestly, it doesn't matter what they put Tenoch Huerta in going forward.
He's gonna do good.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. He is going to be worth seeing.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how with his character, when he retells his story, he said, he said, the boy with no love, so I called myself Namor. But then everybody was like, Namor, and I'm like, wait a second, where did that inflection come up? Namor, and he clearly said Namor. Like every time he said his own name.
Probably
Namor, yeah.
Because Namor is the traditional way of saying it for the comics. Namor.
But if you want to bring in like Mesoamerican tradition, like, and with the language, it's like
Spanish, yeah.
And we're gonna go back and forth. I think at least until we see him in more things in the MCU, and we hear his pronunciation more.
Like, yeah, I know I heard way before, because when people revealed, when people like kind of knew who was the villain for this one, everybody was saying Namor, and I get it because of how people read the comic. But again, it's because like most of America and English speakers read it, and we're just like, oh, Namor, yeah, sure. Like we mess up accents all the time, and then it just sticks because of the universal English language or some bullshit. But like, Namor sounds cooler to me. Namor, I just think this sounds cooler. Okay, legit though. From the get-go, I was like, this is about to be the best tribute to Chadwick Boseman that has ever existed.
Of silence.
I was sitting there and I was like, I was already doing this, but then I almost stood up and was just starting to like point to the sky, bro. Like, dude, that hit every level imaginable. The moment of silence would start. The little they did it again at the end when she goes back to the Marvel Studios tribute. Then when at the end when she goes finally to the campfire to burn the funeral garms, and then we see the scenes again. I was like, dude. And then Rihanna came in. I was like, bro, this is hitting on every level.
Yeah, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like it would have made a lot more like significance. And of course, it was me being nitpicky. If the kid wasn't named T'Challa but was named after the actual actor, you know?
See, and like, no, because
it makes more sense to be T'Challa the second.
Well, yeah, no, like it wouldn't have made sense in universe, but I felt like it would have been a lot more significant if he was like, yeah, by the way,
my name's Chadwick. Bro, this boy Haitian. This
know?
Boy grew up in Haiti and he's Wakandan. How the hell is his name gonna be Chadwick?
Toussaint, though?
Toussaint.
The amount of history behind that name, on top of the fact that you're naming him T'Challa.
A lot of history.
The history major in me just like lost it.
Go in a little bit. Go ahead a little bit. Go into that.
Okay, so Toussaint.
Nerd.
Fuck off. Toussaint Louverture was the leader of the first Haitian rebellion, and was the first like. I can't remember if he was the what his official title was, but he was the first leader of a free Haiti.
Okay, yeah.
So there's a lot of history behind the name Toussaint. And then on top, so you're already giving his Haitian name a lot of power and authority behind it. He is he is being positioned as a leader in Haiti, and then you're giving him the name of the former king, his father, and probably the future Black Panther.
Yeah.
That's
the way he was like,
and it's a tribute to Chadwick. It's just all wrapped up in just perfect.
My name is T'Challa, son of King T'Challa. I was like, bro, I'm gonna cry. I was gonna cry. Bro, and like the thing was, right? I felt it coming. I always like let myself kind of just wait it out until they like say it. But as soon as he goes back to Shuri and she goes, "Is it time for us to join you?" I was like, no fucking way. Oh man,
and just the way that they paid tribute to him and how he passed off screen, right?
Yeah.
Where he suffered in silence. He didn't tell anybody about this, and by the time he did, it was too late for me to help.
Yeah.
And Shuri feels guilty because she wasn't able to help in time.
But in the back of my head, the worst part of me was being like, this dude had the herb heart. What kind of sickness got to him? I'm sorry. It was so bad that it came in my head. But I was like, this is not disrespect to Chadwick Boseman at all. Love him.
Yeah.
Like, this was purely in the MCU. I was just like, ain't he supposed to be resistant to like everything? I just couldn't.
I am curious what disease they officially gave him in the MCU.
They didn't like say anything. They just said an illness.
I know. That's why I'm curious.
And
they might honestly, just keep saying that.
You could just say cancer. It really is that simple.
Yeah.
It could be that the heart-shaped herb affected him negatively in this way.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna pull some like one of his enemies got a poison curated specifically for him that could counter it, and then it like slowly killed him. I didn't know. Yeah. Like after I saw them doing that scene, I was like, are they gonna like try to get into a whole how did he die thing in the MCU? I don't know. I mean, they could honestly though they could just leave it alone. So
yeah, and I think people have had gripes already with that. I've seen a lot on Twitter, which is a cesspool, but I've seen a lot on Twitter about people complaining like, "Oh, you killed a beloved character off screen," and it's like, we're not going to recast T'Challa.
Yeah, you honestly can't. We've been saying this for years. You can't cast anybody else.
The only person that you could have feasibly gotten away with recasting T'Challa as is Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, and you already used him as a villain and then killed him off. You can't just bring him back in and have him be T'Challa now. Like, no, it doesn't work. And even if you found somebody who like could have restructured and done a hair thing, it doesn't matter. It's not him. You can't recast that.
It would have been insulting to his memory to recast him.
It really would have. Yeah.
Literally, if I'm getting into the feels. I'm getting into the feels, man.
Nonsensical.
Literally, if you like think about this too, right? He was in so many movies, at least for me, that are like so iconic. Because before I even really knew who he was, I still knew who he was. Because I watched Get On Up, I watched 42. And there are so many others that I can't come to mind. Those are like the two that stand out the most to me. And it's like, yeah, if he was never cast in those, you wouldn't think about it. But because he was, you're like, I can't see anyone else doing this. And not only just because it's like ingrained in your head, like because it's been out for so long, is because of just the way he embodies roles and performs them that nobody else can emulate. That it's like you can't replace that.
And the more recent roles, Black Panther, and then 27 Bridges.
Yeah,
like those roles are more iconic now because we know at that point that he was in chemo. Like he was suffering and gave us the like some of the most profound and impactful performances.
How you gonna do this shit when we're talking about Chadwick Boseman, man? I swear to God.
He gave us some of the most profound and impactful performances while he was suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Often by himself or with only like his direct family knowing. Like not even the cast knew.
Yeah.
No one did.
You literally, yeah. All the people who complained about how he died, shut the fuck up.
Fuck off.
Literally, you gotta come to terms with. Yeah,
like you don't have to come.
My door is somewhere.
You don't have to come back to the MCU. There you go. The door is right there.
Like, we all have to come to terms with it. We all love him. We all miss him. But you cannot complain and throw so much disrespect for how they try to carry on his memory and honor him. You can't do that. Mm-hmm. Okay. What was the other? Oh, yeah, there was another scene, right, that I want to talk about a little bit. Where did y'all, what kind of, like, theater did you watch it in, right? Not, like, the name of the place, but, like, was it, like, an IMAX? Was it, like, a 3D or, like, a standard? Like, what was it?
I think it was standard def.
Standard def? Legacy, what about you?
Yeah.
All I know is I think they called it a Cinemax XD.
XD.
Whatever that means.
Probably IMAX.
Okay.
Yeah. Ah, shit.
You about to get your ass beat, you know that, right?
Oh, turn it off. Protect your mouths. I'm staying on. God damn. Fuck you, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
Oh my god.
When you come back with an okay background, alright?
Anyway. Okay.
Hey, that one was funny, you know it. Fuck you.
So,
the door one was funny.
So pretty much,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
That's what I was using.
Okay, wait. So
there's your fucking door. Big brain's coming for your eyes.
Oh god. Okay. So what I was trying to get at, right? So after Shuri decides to take revenge, and we get the big battle area, right? Mm-hmm. With where I was watching it, it was like, okay, as soon as they went to the area with the water, the whole aspect ratio changed. And I didn't know if that was a project thing or if that was just an IMAX thing because of where I watched it. But literally, as soon as they got on that in the ocean, whole screen got bigger. And I was like, I was hella confused.
This is me being out of practice. I did not notice that.
It was weird. Like, I had to look at it because I went and saw it with my friend Micah. Like, I literally, halfway through the battle, I was like, is this thing getting, like, bigger or something? Because it normally had, like, black bars on top and bottom. And then when it went to the water, it just went, and just, like, all the bars went away and it, like, filled the entire every inch of it.
Yeah, kind of like the WandaVision thing.
Yeah, kind of like that WandaVision thing. You know how it started to go, like everything started to, like, slowly move out and, like, do that thing. It did that. But what was weird was that it only did it for when they were out on the water. So when Shuri was in the ship with Namor, it went back to this. And when they were on the desert, back to this. But every single time it cut between that and the water, where they're all on that ship, it just kept going, and I was
like... it kind of killed it. The immersion was kind of...
Wait, no, it did happen to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't notice it.
It was slight, but yeah, I noticed it.
Okay, so it was probably an IMAX/Cinemark thing.
It might have just been an editing decision too.
It could have been, but I'm like,
whatever
why?
reason.
There was no point.
Sizing.
But there was like
it might have been how they shot the film, too.
It could have been for the area because it was such a bigger area. Mm-hmm. But I'm honestly like, I don't see the point.
Fuck. It didn't change.
I don't see the point in having them so differently when you're cutting back and forth so quickly. Like, for me, it just throws me off. I was like, everything was going so smoothly, and then all of a sudden, now I'm focused on the editing and the framing. Like, why the hell is this happening?
And that's like that
that
speaks to y'all as film students. I haven't had to watch a film like that in a while. I watched the original Black Panther like that.
Yeah.
The scene where Killmonger takes the throne, I was geeking out about that scene.
That's a really good scene. That's a really good scene.
Just because of the cinematography of it.
Yeah, and like, I was really trying to watch the whole thing not being like film critic, you know?
Yes.
I was really
just, that ruins films.
And I was like, it's Black Panther anyway. I'm gonna geek out about it, and I just want to enjoy it. But then when that happened, I just couldn't help it. You know, it was just weird. Yeah, so that might have been like a IMAX, like it might have been a theater screen thing. It could have been an editing choice. I don't really know. It just threw me off a little. I also didn't understand, like, hey, if you're gonna, that this dude needs water. The nut kick. Like, okay, you're saying that Namor needs water. That's how he, like, heals.
He needs the water, not the milk.
That goes for everybody else as well. Why the hell are you fighting on their playing fields? You're surrounded by water, and you guys can't heal. Yet you are cutting them up and sending them back into the water. And you're letting them bring multiple water bombs to you. Even if you have a smaller elite squad, you're playing into their hands here.
Realistically,
I think they had...
Go ahead. One of you go.
Logically, they had three major issues with that assault. One, they were trying just to draw Namor out. So basically saying, we are not going to fucking deal with you. So in reality, they could have just done anything else. They could have also just attacked from the air. Two, the Sonic thing was a good idea. The issue is that they didn't have... One, they only had one of it, and two, they didn't have enough protection on the damn thing. If they were able to break it open with a fucking spear, you've got an issue, Chief.
Granted, Namora was down there for a while.
That's true. I'm just saying, it's like you had your cavalry with the two flying suits come in kind of late. Like, a lot of your people ended up dying kind of needlessly while you were over there fighting the dude on your own in the ship and in the desert. It's like... Yes. The plan, for Shuri to be very smart, the plan was not great to me.
It wasn't great.
It really wasn't.
Really just boiled down to Shuri wants revenge and she wants to kill Namor.
Yeah.
And like, the rest of this be damned.
What's with all these characters like thirsting for revenge, man? Like, Spider-Man got to get revenge now for his aunt. Shuri got to get revenge for her entire family. Like
my this is they're gonna play it off really well in like the finale or whatever of the phase with of Kang being like, you've killed so many of my kind, or so many Kangs, now it's time for me to fuck you up. Who knows?
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
It plays into these are younger characters.
Yeah, that's true.
These are younger characters that has experienced a loss that most adults don't have to. And so and this is me reading into it, right? But what I took away from that was like from the deaths and the desire for revenge and all of these characters reacting in this way is, oh yeah, that makes total sense. They're traumatized.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I wouldn't if I was.
Yeah, no, like in that situation, I probably would want revenge too. Mm-hmm. I would need somebody, an older Peter, M'Baku. Like, I would need these characters to come. I would need somebody, an adult, somebody older, somebody wiser, to come in and say, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to help you.
Get some help.
Like, even...
You need therapy. There you go. Like
even T'Challa for a second felt like, because his dad died, like, what was it, during Civil War?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, for a while he was just, like, very, very upset, and then whenever he was fighting, it was just like, I'm gonna kill the Winter Soldier. But because of his character, it's like, well, he kind of corrected that pretty quickly.
When he realized it wasn't the Winter Soldier that
true.
He needed to blame.
But even still, it was like, because of his, like, he's like Killmonger says, like, he's very, very noble. Mm-hmm. So, like, he kind of corrects himself without a lot of other counsel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has a very strong sense of justice and nobility.
Yeah.
He
not as arrogantly as like Captain America, but like, yeah, he does have that.
But T'Chaka had raised him to be a king.
Yeah.
Shuri wasn't raised to be a queen.
Nope.
And that also gets to another aspect of their characters, where it's like she can feel the desire for revenge, where T'Challa recognizes that he wants revenge, but that there are other ways to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where Shuri is just like, I just want to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's all she got going, man. Like, I just want to kill him. And it takes this, like, this one singular moment where she's having the flashback to the Killmonger conversation, and she's like, do I want to be my brother, or do I want to be my cousin?
Oh, and that's God, what damn it. Stop it, bro. Stop.
That's what that decision boiled down to. She could have killed Namor. She could have been Killmonger.
She was ready to.
And she was...
You're going to be high and mighty like your brother? Or you're going to get the job done?
This close.
This close, yep. Mm-hmm. Would y'all have actually done it? Like, to be honest, I don't know if...
I don't think I would have killed him.
Yeah.
I would have captured him, held him hostage, and taken his technology.
I don't think I would have done that either.
You probably have more than him. If you're Shuri, like Wakanda probably has more.
I would have stolen the fucking sun.
And honestly, you're not gonna be able to take it either. That shit is very low in the ocean. You're not gonna be able to just.
I would have demanded they give me the blueprints for the fucking sun.
Okay, well, I feel like if I was Shuri, I don't think I would have gone through. But I haven't lost my entire family. So I probably might have killed him. Especially since they found a successful way to. It's like, in that moment I probably would have. Especially after, the revenge is flooding through my head. But then after getting stabbed through the gut by this dude, my adrenaline would have been like, fuck this dude. Pow!
Yeah.
Oh god. Anyway, Legacy, because you haven't talked much. Let's go into a little bit more like the cinematography for this.
You have my stuff. All right, here we go. Oh no. So right off the bat, I thought it was really good just for the cinematic style. I thought some of the bits were kind of strange that they put some insert shots in. Cinematically, I'm also curious as to why they decided to go for a lot of the shots of, okay, we're going for the flooded throne room instead of the traditional zone or traditional area.
What do you wait? What do you mean? Like the throne?
So we saw after eating the heart shape herb, we saw the flooded throne room and not the typical ancestral plane.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
So
that's one of those. That's gonna be a cinematic choice, and I'm curious if it's just because they're running low on money and said, "Fuck it, we got the set here, we'll do it."
No, because Marvel has a bankroll the size of fucking America.
American defense.
Not quite there yet. The ancestral plane. It doesn't. It seems like every character is going to have a different ancestral plane. And the reason for T'Challa, right? He's the king. He is having to answer to all of his ancestors. He's having to answer to all of the former Black Panthers.
Did we see Killmonger's ancestral plane first?
Yes, and I'm going to get to that real quick. He feels honor bound to his role as king in Black Panther. Killmonger, when he takes the heart-shaped herb, his ancestral plane
is his childhood home.
Is the apartment he grew up in.
Yeah.
And the apartment that he found his brother dead in. Or his father dead in.
If that's the case, we've already set up precedents for the different ancestral planes, which means we are going to see that eventually.
Yes.
The issue is that
if there's a connection for honor reasons or how you view yourself in Wakanda, then that makes sense for T'Challa. If it's the ancestral plane is responding because of the character that is appearing before, then it also makes sense why Killmonger and Shuri see what they see.
Yeah.
If it's connected to a particularly traumatic experience where it's Killmonger walks in and sees his dad dead on the floor. It's Shuri, like running in and seeing her mother dead in the flooded throne room.
Yeah. You're saying that it's connected to the reason why they took the heart?
Like, not necessarily. It's just like this is a traumatic experience, and so this is why that like it makes sense that there is a connection.
Okay.
Not necessarily like 100% clear why there's a connection, but it makes sense that there is one.
Yeah.
It's some magic shit.
Yeah. Which again, like it's the heart-shaped herb. It's what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah. Like we know that it like drew from like. It had to be in vibranium soil. We know that much. That's how Namor got his powers. That's how the heart-shaped thing became a thing anyway.
That's the only real explanation that we have for why the heart-shaped herb does what it does. Is that it's vibranium laced.
Yeah.
So is this what happens when you ingest any vibranium?
Try it.
I don't know.
I mean,
sure, it almost goes into cardiac arrest. Like,
yeah.
What?
Well, yeah, cinematically and continuity. I thought cinematic was interesting. Continuity, though, I am kind of curious how they're going to play it out, because with Love and Thunder, they pretty much said, hey, this is where gods go when they are living, including Celestials. And then they turn around and say, yeah, so each version, or every god has their own afterlife and how that's set up, which is great. They're setting more of that format. Which we're probably going to see more with watch that. It's all right.
I don't want to have to watch it though. You know, I didn't watch the first two Thors.
Overall, it's not really good from a cinematic standpoint.
I know it's not, and I know for Marvel though, I need to like know about it.
For Marvel information, the basic things you need to know is that Thor has Zeus's thunderbolt currently. Thor has sent Hercules after Thor, to make Earth fear the gods again. There are Celestials, specifically the what are they called? The ones like Nowhere.
Eternals?
Who have the Eternals, who have created it and are there. But we also see that Jane Foster, of course, spoilers, is in Valhalla. Because she died in battle, even though she's dying battling cancer. So there's probably technicality there as well, which I'm not going to get into.
I mean, she died in battle.
Yeah. But overall, it's like, one, what are we looking at through this? Two, so they really underplayed the God Killer blade, and the God Killer villain in itself. If they had actually gone further with that, they could have technically brought symbiotes into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I'm just saying, out of everybody right now that I'm aware of in the MCU, Thor is the one I care the least about.
No. Thor, you don't need to worry too much.
We have no real reason to care about Thor right now, which is really sad.
And like, just to name 4 people, I care about Tom Holland Spider-Man, I care about Shuri Black Panther, I care about Scott Lang Ant-Man, and then I care about Thor. And Thor is still way lower than all the other 3.
I'd start
more about so many other characters right now.
I'd push more for Ant-Man, though, especially with his Quantum Mania thing coming out, because that's going to be like a major connection of how
it's just whenever I look at Josh, like, I know he's about to say some shit. He just goes,
we gotta do this again when Quantum Mania comes out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because I am not prepared for that shit. I still haven't caught up on all of the MCU shows either. Like,
I haven't done that either.
I haven't started a lot of them. Quantum Mania, we're looking at a lot of major issues. Like, one, how are we getting Kang? 2, how are we doing all this stuff with the microverse? How are we bringing it into major?
Loki?
Loki? No, I saw that. I'm already looking forward to season 2.
Okay.
I'm saying the microverse, not the multiverse. Because they're talking about how there's another universe below this one.
Oh wait,
so does that mean that
we already talked about that.
No,
Yeah.
like in the trailer.
Yeah,
like,
they
no,
just said it in
Quantumania.
the
we got that.
trailer, but like
got
that
the
already.
Loki thing, it's like because that's the whole
creates
alternate
the
dimension.
multiverse,
That's like
yeah.
an alternate version of him. That's not the
Yes.
actual Kang from like 616 universe.
Yes,
Or
and the
whatever.
microverse is the microverse was basically shown in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't see that movie.
Just
That
not
would
in
explain that.
depth. Just not
Yeah.
in depth.
What I'm curious about is, are they?
They explained
saying-
like she was down there somewhere, but they
Yeah.
didn't. She didn't explain where she
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And it's like,
What I'm
well,
curious-
it's weird. The quantum realm was weird, but it's like, no, that's the microverse, and that's like,
Yeah.
everybody,
Okay.
everybody, like knowing the context of the comics and knowing what they were pulling from, it was like, okay, yes, this is where she's been for this whole time.
Yeah.
We're gonna get more of this because it makes a lot of sense. And then you
Yeah.
get the time travel shit from Endgame, where it's like they gotta go through the quantum
The
realm
time
in order to
travel's
get
gonna be
here
fun.
and all of this.
Yeah.
Yada yada.
Which explains how Kang gets through time travel and all this stuff. What I'm curious about overall is one, how are they going to bring, or how are they going to say, all right, we're bringing Kang in, but not like bring him in, unless they're planning on as soon as Quantumania is done, and like it's done its run through theaters, they're saying, all right, here is the finale for this phase, with Kang as a major villain.
I mean,
Yeah,
pretty
or-
much
They already
everybody
said-
knows that he's the major villain
Like,
now.
No, like, are they going to drop the
Evan's
trailer
Gate opened
after
up. God damn.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like, are they going to drop a trailer for the phase?
Not
for this phase
immediately.
finale?
No, not
Yeah,
immediately.
I mean, like,
So Wakanda Forever was officially the end of
Phase 4.
Phase 4.
So phase 4 was literally just world building in that case.
Yes.
Yeah.
So phase 5, I'm already pulling that up now that I'm thinking about it.
Phase 5 will start with
Quantumania.
Yeah. Which Quantumania, if it's going to be the first, oh, there it is, yeah. And then Secret Invasion within the last one being Thunderbolts. Daredevil's going to be good. Ironheart, we're getting 2023.
The thing is,
So,
I saw
though,
a rumor that
there's so
Daredevil was
much-
going to be TVMA.
That's the thing, right?
That'd be
So much
interesting.
of this is going to rely more on the TV stuff. So I'm really wondering how they're going to tie Loki into this, since
Yeah.
that's how they first introduced Kang as being a
Yes.
thing. And then
My bet is that
so
either
many-
they're going to say,
so much stuff from like She-Hulk, Daredevil, freaking Hawkeye if he's still a thing,
probably an Echo.
probably like all that stuff from the shows is gonna tie in so much more with the movies, to where people who like don't have for whatever reason don't have Disney Plus, even
Yeah.
though they watch Marvel, they're gonna be like coming to the movie and like, wait, what the hell are they talking about? It's like, oh, you didn't watch this episode, huh?
I'm disappearing again. Yeah. I mean, overall, I feel like Secret Invasion, which is spring 2023, is either going to be, we're going to see a lot of Kang, and he's going to be allied with his version of the Skrulls from another multiverse kind of thing, or we're going to end up with it being part of Guardians of the Galaxy with Adam Warlock.
I definitely
originally
think
Adam-
that's something that
We still haven't seen Adam Warlock.
Oh yeah, that's true.
We saw his coffin in Guardians
Yeah.
2.
We
The
still
issue
haven't
is,
seen him.
I think they confirmed. I think they had talked about saying like, "Hey, by the way, Warlock might show up in Volume 3," and they were hinting at it, but not really like lock
They
on.
really
confirming it,
and
you know?
and like now that James Gunn is in charge of DC, like Guardians are gonna like fade to the background.
Mm.
We're not gonna get any Guardian stuff. Really,
That's
after-
disappointing, honestly,
Volume
because
3.
I feel like
Guardians was
that's-
one of those that like really brought me back into it all. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, it's like, even though it's not as like great, at least not like as great as most people would associate with like other ones. It's
Yeah.
so much more. It's so much fun, and still good to where people like will rewatch it a lot, and it like brought a lot of people back. You know.
Yeah.
I remember walking into the theater thinking, "Oh, this is gonna be it's another Marvel movie," but I don't really know anything about it. And I walked out
Yeah.
loving those characters.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like Guardians will either be their finale then, or we're gonna see what happens.
they might
Just looking
pop back
forward.
in, or like the characters might change because the Guardians team has included so many characters over the
Yeah.
course of its.
They still got to get
publication
Gamora
history.
back.
Yeah,
Like,
think.
They gotta get
they may-
Gamora back.
Maybe what it is.
You know, they could bring in Cosmo. They could bring in.
They could very well bring in Hulk because he's technically still on Sakaar. Although,
And
he's
his
back
son.
on Earth at this point with his
he's
son.
back on Earth. I
With
haven't
his son.
been keeping up with.
So either we're gonna get
She-Hulk
them
other
here in
than the-
phase 6, maybe.
So Phase 5 right now looks like this.
Yeah,
Quantumania.
She-Hulk. Hulk's got a son now.
Yeah, I knew about that.
Yeah.
They massacred my boy. They massacred him. Give him his hair. That's all he had to do is give him his hair, and it'll be okay. Anyways, Quantumania is sorry. Guardians Volume 3, and these I'm just gonna run through the movies first. The Marvels, which is gonna be Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, and then Miss Marvel. Captain America 4, Thunderbolts, and Blade. Yeah. Blade is the only one that is currently like confirmed. We kind of have an idea of the direction of the rest of them right now, where it's actually, we have castings.
The wiki has already released most of their plot lines.
Don't read them.
Oh no, like the premise, not the actual like full on plot.
But still, right now, for me, don't read them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Don't read them out loud, at least.
Yeah.
We already kind of have an idea of like there's castings have been announced and there's been directors tied to things and everything, but it's not nothing has been like finalized in terms of Blade other than Mahershala Ali is going to be the lead. Like the script the script and everything to do with it pretty much got canned. They're starting from scratch. Like it's a whole mess right now, and I'm really excited for Blade. And Mahershala Ali deserves a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they better not fuck it up. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's where Phase 6 is. Okay. And so then Kang, they got to deal with Kang for 2 phases.
Yeah. So they've already
5 and 6.
They already pushed back the second of the 2 Avengers movies.
Yeah.
The spring of 26.
As you were naming them, I'm like, okay, literally because it started with Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. That was like the big trio. And because Iron Man is gone, technically, we saw Captain America get old. I know he passed on the mantle. I don't care about those 3 anymore. So it's like, okay, you can bring Iron Man as an AI. Cool. We can see Falcon now be Captain America. It's like, okay, that's kind of cool, even though the show was kind of I don't care about Thor anymore. I want to see new Avengers. I want to see new heroes being introduced, like as many as you could do, and doing new stuff. I need to see more Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, like everything else other than the 3 that we already beat to death. Like, stop bringing them back.
We might see Doctor Strange in Secret Invasion as like him being a major. But I'm doubting that. 2, we might see him in Blade dealing with that kind of stuff.
Oh, no, Secret Invasion is going to be very much about Nick Fury.
Yeah, Ooh. Nick Fury.
It's very much just going to be Nick Fury. Like, this is his show. This is what he's going through. This is how he's fighting the Skrulls.
You literally said Echo out loud, bro.
Yeah, I know, because that's one of like the Disney series that's coming out. And that one, now I looked at the line. They have to walk that line really carefully. Because that one's supposed to be the Native American hero. Which means either that can go really good for them, or really terrible, depending on who's actually written that and who's doing well with that.
Going back to Wakanda, right, real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The political implications of this film. The political implications in this film are really intriguing. The way that they walk this line.
They are.
Okay. Because it gets into it's a narrative on hi, I'm a white guy talking about this. It gets into
Mr. White Guy.
Hi, I'm Mr. White Guy. I'm talking about this, right? Sorry. I know that I speak from a place of privilege. They're walking this line where they're talking about minority communities beating up on each other and looking down on each other, and the white man, the CIA, deeply considering sparking this conflict.
Yeah.
And it's like they flat out said it in the film. The only sympathizers for Wakanda were arrested and almost jailed before it being intercepted. And they're still cracking jokes about him. That was a great scene at the end when Okoye opens the fan.
A colonizer in chains.
I really have seen everything.
Oh God!
When are we gonna go get to say hi to my favorite colonizer? All of this,
How they keep jabbing at it on that.
it's good. It's a good running joke because he's he means well.
Yeah.
And he's loyal because they saved him.
Yeah,
and that's gonna go a long way.
I think they do. You're right about that, though. They do that incredibly well. And then about the fact that they're still so isolated, and they're like, God damn, they're so isolated, and these two tribes that have one that's been hidden so long, one that's known but isolated still from the world, are now joined but still not on the best terms. Now fighting the fight against basically power hungry countries and stuff. I just think the implications. I just think the implications of that are really
straight up. France attacks Wakanda.
For real, dude. When they pulled up with those
France sending fucking mercenaries to attack an outreach station.
They're like, Wakanda doesn't want to share their vibranium. They're like, oh really? Bring them in. To be you're welcome, motherfuckers.
Be glad that we didn't kill them. And then she's fucking Ramona's like, I'm gonna speak to you in French right now and put you in your fucking place.
I fully expected for her to be or for the thing to open, and then we just hear, it's like the fucking gun goes off.
No, you just hear, it's let him in, they bring him out, and then they just go, spear. Just take them all down.
No hesitation, just gone.
The reveal of the Dora Milaje.
That was good.
That was, I know we saw that in the trailer, but it hit in the theater when you realized what the context of it was, where it's like, this is a trap. They literally outthought you.
It's a trap.
They let you get this far and then just fucking wrecked you.
For real. Yeah. Nah, this movie,
and it's also,
bro.
Yeah.
This movie is insane. No. Say your last point.
It gets into the, again, Wakanda is like Ramona says, is the most powerful nation in the world. The blip on the map is the most powerful nation in the world because of the technology that they have at their disposal.
Yeah.
And they are isolationist because they wanted to protect themselves for so long. But at the same time, if anybody were to come by vibranium,
if anybody fucks with you, they are dead.
Yes, but if anybody else were to come by vibranium, it would be problematic for the rest of the world.
It's just so crazy.
That's another implication of everything that's going on, right?
Yeah.
It would be problematic for the rest of the world, and we've already seen it. Talokan has access to vibranium.
Yeah, and they don't mess with the rest of the world.
Any and everybody up,
and they just don't do it. And people still don't know they exist either. And it's the only people that could possibly challenge the only people that could possibly challenge them are literally each other, with Wakanda and Talokan. And it's they both hate each other now, but it's we're just gonna kind of both isolate in limbo and kind of fight our own fights individually a little bit, possibly kill each other in the process. And then not whoever. If Talokan wins, the whole world's fucked. And if Wakanda wins, then they still hate us, but we're no, the rest of the world hates us, but we're still alive, because they ain't fighting Talokan.
It's really important at the end when he's explaining we have an ally now.
Yeah.
They have an ally in us.
We have a Hulk.
But he's also he reveres Shuri.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that he's immortalizing it in his art.
Yeah.
Which is the lore of his nation. That's wild, man. The amount of respect that one fight brought between the two countries. And he's going to be so important going forward. She's going to be so important going forward.
I feel like they might use Namor as an anti-hero.
And that's what he is in the comics.
And then be a villain, again.
Namor in the comics is concerned with one thing and one thing only.
His people.
And that is his nation and his people. As long as his people are okay, he don't give a fuck about what goes on above. He is perfectly content with being hidden away. But if you mess with him,
he pretty much is Aquaman, just scaled higher because it's Marvel.
much.
I mean, to an extent, yeah, but
and
still.
this is again why they didn't do Atlantis.
Yeah.
The one, representation is important, and so on and so forth. But also, they wanted to make Namor more distinct as a character for the MCU, because people were going to look at it anyways. People looked at it before the movie and they were like, "Oh, it's Aquaman ripped off," and it's like, yeah,
yeah, but just like
DC and MC and Marvel ripped each other off for decades.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, it wasn't Namor made first anyway.
I don't remember what the context was,
Let's
but
see.
the idea
Namor
of a
was 1939 first appearance.
Dude, his screen light is throwing me off. I thought he was
It's
looking
so
green earlier. I don't know what happened.
It's because I had my background set weirdly.
Yeah, but why did it change how you looked? Like, are you also changing your lights too? Like, what's the deal?
Yes, I had the backlight to green earlier when I turned it on, and I couldn't change the color before I turned it on. So 1939 versus. Give me the freaking thing. Here you go. 1939 versus 1941. So Aquaman is technically the ripoff.
Oh.
But people are look at it because Aquaman already came out.
Yeah.
As the MCU is ripping off.
Oh god, I am
Aquaman.
pale now. What the fuck happened?
Yeah, you're all washed out.
There we go.
But it's
Better. Not really.
they did a superb job with Talokan.
Oh, they really
that whole sequence where Shuri is getting a tour of the Capitol.
The history, yeah.
Is really cool. Because the vibe, like the music, and we haven't talked one bit about the music other than the end. We'll get to that. I want to hear y'all's thoughts. But that scene where he's basically like he's trying to get Shuri to empathize with his people. That was the whole point of showing Shuri the capital city. And it comes back around. It comes back around at the end where it's I could kill him. And then I think we're not.
I can kill him, but I won't.
I can kill him, but really, we're not so different. We have like the hand gesture, and the trading between the. Which is also a nod to the fact that the Latinos love Dragon Ball. You got the hand gesture, and you've got the silent communication. But you've also got this mutual respect between everybody, and the trading, and the every person up and down has a purpose in the city and in their culture, and some of it is very simple, and some of it's very important. But at the end of the day, they're all one people and one country, and that shared sympathy is what leads Shuri to make the decision that she does. Because you don't get the flashbacks otherwise. Yeah. You don't get she probably would have killed him had he not done that.
Probably,
yeah.
Especially if he still did the same thing and attacked them.
Yeah.
She probably would have killed him.
So. Okay.
Yeah, get through the music, because I'm going to do a whole, eventually, just a sit down where I listen to every song, but, talk about it.
No, I want to hear your thoughts first.
Okay. Because I did mention before the Rihanna song at the end, hit every feel and stuff. I think one way, I don't even remember when it was, but no, that one was the credits. There's one in the credits that I couldn't even tell what the language was. I almost thought they were singing in Wakandan, and I was just
I thought so too.
That would have been actually kind of interesting.
It would have been.
They might be.
I have no idea. But the thing about, I feel like if I were to listen to a soundtrack, I haven't heard the whole thing over again, but I probably identify more with the first movie soundtrack in a weird way. Mm-hmm. No disrespect to Rihanna having been on majority of the project work, I guess, but something about this one. This one was way more, because the theme around this movie was so much more about emotion, rather than the first one being more about pride and being represent I am this. This one was way more just about
Like actually
feeling,
going on. Yeah.
emotion, like contemplation, like all that kind of stuff. It still had its moments of just like kick ass music, but like, yeah, no, I just.
What do you think, Legacy?
I thought the music was really good choicing for a lot of parts. I thought it may have just been me, but I felt like the music they had for the funerals could have been a little bit more somber. But I feel like that's also a traditional part of like African culture, like it being celebratory.
Yeah, it's more of the whole
celebrating the life.
Yeah, celebration of
Yeah.
life as opposed to like mourning their death.
Yeah, which works well, but I feel like the parts of like, okay, we're starting out quiet because we're not celebrating this part. It's the close family and the leaders mourning. I
Yeah.
feel like that the silence worked well, but overall, like, even if it was like very somber music, and then instead of like a hard change like we had from somber to celebratory, even like slowly merging that in would have played a lot better.
Mm.
They did with the
I mean,
first
they get-
funeral scene.
Hmm?
I thought they did with the first funeral scene, where it kind of fades up into.
Not really, no. For the first funeral scene, it was like dead silent after we got the note after he was like, he is gone. And then we moved on to the funeral.
Yeah, but then
They
once
picked-
but once it was the funeral, and then they got to like the
Yeah.
procession of them walking, then it started to do the.
It fades.
Oh,
it fades up out of
Yeah.
silence into. Okay, here's the funeral procession.
Yeah. It didn't sound like it picked up for me. It sounded like it was like an instant drop. It was like a hard cut with a hard cut.
I don't really remember, to be totally honest.
I thought it was a fade up, but
It sounded like a hard cut when it hard cut to. Of course, I'm saying this like film terms.
Okay.
But when it hard cut to the
Procession.
hard cut to the celebratory, to the celebratory part.
Yeah.
That's when it really hard cut in. There's slight changes whenever we hit like the close up of them actually carrying the coffin. Like it was a little bit like you could tell there were some somber undertones and like it was a little bit muted. But other than that, no, it was like silence, and then kind of thing,
Yeah. They did.
Like
Oh yeah, I didn't
it was-
mention it before.
yeah.
They definitely infused a lot of the old soundtrack as well.
Yeah,
Like,
which
they did
works
that
well.
throughout the movie as well. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they established what Wakanda sounds like,
Yeah.
right? And so now it
Yeah.
makes sense that they can go back to the well. It's like with Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter or any of the other major media franchises that we have, where that first movie sets the stage for what the rest of the sound of the universe is going to sound like.
Yeah.
Everything
And so
else
and we
now
can
is
work
like,
within it, but you can always go back to the well of and Williams does this just as a general rule, but you can always go back to the well of like this is what it sounded like before, and if we do a callback here, it's going to be really emotional and very important, and like tie back in, or it can be the closing of another chapter, or whatever. But the sound that they did establish in the first movie works really, really well still in the second movie.
It worked well for that.
Yeah. Whew. Any other thoughts on this?
I think that the soundtrack. It's an interesting choice to not have Kendrick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It may have been
and-
timing, it may have been licensing costs, who knows?
So it's just been. It probably was timing, for being honest. He's working on. He dropped an album earlier this year. He's probably been touring this whole time, and so if you can get him in the studio, it's hard enough as is right now.
Mhm.
So if it just didn't work out, it didn't work out. That's okay. I think the expectation, like you're saying with the funeral scene, I think the expectation of the trailer
Because
gave
that
it-
was going to be
gave
really
it
powerful.
one we thought it would be really powerful, this somber moment, and it's like
Yeah.
no, that's not the point of
That's not the
death
culture.
in
Yeah.
Wakanda. We are celebrating their life and celebrating what they gave their country.
Yeah. I feel like if they had
that they're
like,
gone.
I feel like if they didn't, they threw out that scene like as a teaser kind of thing of, hey, this is your opening credit, or they would have, or they go, we are not showing this at all. You have to come to the movie to see it. It would have been it would have been a completely different vibe. Like
Yeah,
if
if we
they
hadn't
said, yeah, no,
If we hadn't seen it in the trailer, I think it would have been received.
It would have been like a
We would have been
holy
fine,
cow,
you know?
that's barely.
One thing I think they did a lot as I'm looking at the artist list by like trying to compare it, there was a lot more. It is kind of a fair mix, but I think there was a lot more African American artists in the first movie, and it was a much like I was saying earlier, it's like a lot of a different vibe with the general tone of the album. And then this one, they have more international artists, most likely either like they. I know like this guy Stormzy. I know he's like a rapper from like England, but I'm pretty sure he's from like Nigeria or something like that.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people who have either traditionally like come from Africa or just in that like in or any of the spaces like in middle what's it called Central America or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think they wanted to try to broaden out the circle a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. The Latino influence
Yeah.
is very present.
Which
in
works
a lot
well
of the
when
tracks.
it's like the non-water scenes and the Central American scenes.
Mhm.
It works amazingly.
It works really well. The Black Panther movies are so intentionally crafted.
Yeah.
Every aspect of both of these movies is so intentional, from the casting to the music to the costume design to the stories themselves and the questions of how people view themselves in society and the socio-political implications. Like every single aspect of these movies is very, very intentional and very well crafted.
Yeah.
And that is the highest compliment that I can give Ryan Coogler at all when it comes to these movies. Like it doesn't matter now. Like Coogler and Tanakh and like Winston Duke, like all of these guys, I will go see them in anything now.
Mm-hmm.
They ran crazy. Yeah, they did well. I am curious if they're gonna bring back Namor and his and that underwater city more.
They should.
Even saying we are going to bring the sun. Anything like that, if that hits major cities, that would solve so many problems, but create so many more villains. Like with that, I mean, of course, this is also assuming like they continue operating with Sony and they do all this work. They could bring so much in with those connections. And of course, this is throwing out there because technically, Disney could very well buy Sony if they had the money and wanted to, and it wouldn't create a monopoly.
It wouldn't go through.
Oh yeah. They're the only other.
We know they have the money, but Sony's not going to do that.
Well, yeah. Okay. There's other implications, right? Hollywood is a fucking mess right now because Warner Brothers is a mess.
It always is, yeah.
But there are already too few studios in Hollywood in charge of everything.
Yeah.
Any attempt by one of the big five to overtake the other would be shot down immediately.
Yeah.
So unless Sony divests itself fully, which isn't going to happen because there's such a money spin.
Because it's Sony, yeah.
Yeah, unless Sony wanted to self-divest of the movie properties and the studios, it's never going to happen. They're going to have to play nice, and they're going to make a lot of money doing it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if it works, it works.
Yeah. I mean, if they do, it's great. If they don't, I feel like that's also why they didn't really flesh out the God Killer character too much, because he very well could have been like a big bad for the MCU.
It's a choice, right? They didn't want a big bad for Phase 4.
Yeah.
They didn't need one.
Strange, but
They didn't really need one. Because, and I mean, we didn't really need one in Phase 1.
No.
Not particularly. They knew what they wanted to do. They teased Thanos.
Oh yeah, no.
Every opportunity that they got, but they didn't really. They didn't have a big bad. The big bad at Phase 1 was Loki, and it's like.
Isn't it funny how he was the big bad for Phase 1 when, to be honest, he does not compare to the other big bads that we have available.
Exactly. He doesn't compare to the. Thanos. He doesn't compare to Kang.
Yeah,
He's
I
not
think
going to
that's what
compare
they
to
relied on.
Galactus. Like
If
Loki
they,
is
yeah,
small fry compared to the rest of these guys.
of course, that's assuming they ever really heavily bring Galactus in the first place, because I know we're supposed to be getting a Fantastic Four in Phase 6, but unless we like get hard confirmation, like, hey, our big bad is going to be Galactus in Season 4, or Fantastic Four, I am fully expecting it to be Doctor Doom. They're going to bring him in.
If they want to do Secret Wars right, they need Doctor Doom.
Yeah, and Secret Wars. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that for season or Phase 6? Wasn't it?
Phase 6, yeah.
Yeah,
If
They got time.
they got time, but if they want to do this right, they need Doctor Doom.
They need Doctor Doom. Like he's.
And I'm curious which Secret Wars they're going to adapt. Right? Are they going to go with the '84 Secret Wars, or are they going to go with 2015? Because if they go with 2015, they need Doctor Doom, and they need to do a lot of work between now and then.
Yeah. I'm betting they are going to heavily require Doctor Doom because it's not going to. Because it's kind of like the original Infinity Gauntlet comics versus any modern ones. Because the original Infinity Gauntlet comics shows Thanos winning, which obviously he did, but it also showed him facing off against like major Celestials, like Eternity and such. Which, I mean, it's great that we now have Eternity and confirmation. Like, hey, all of those exist, which also include like the Living Tribunal, which is amazing that those are connected. And of course, that's all also speculation, but also Love and Thunder. By the way, Love and Thunder is now a little kid. Or not.
Love is a little kid.
Eternity is a little kid. Like
Eternity is not a little kid.
Yeah, no, that's who it was. They turned Eternity into a little kid.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's not the implication of that.
Which I will pull up that movie right now.
You can go pull up that movie. That's not the implication.
That was Eternity. That's what they were saying. Like, you have to go to the center and you find Eternity.
You find Eternity, and Eternity grants you a wish.
And the wish was for his child to come back. And the wish turned out to, and Eternity became the child.
No. That's not the implication of that. The implication is, the child is back now.
That
the
is,
child already honestly, has powers.
The way you described that, like, I don't think that makes sense. Why would Eternity just become the child?
That's not how that's... No, that's not
how
that
I thought the wish is the issue.
Well, if they bring back Doctor Doom, then they gotta, like, literally not ruin Fantastic Four again, because whoever...
As long as they get the casting right, it'll be fine.
Was that Fox who did that? I don't remember. Whoever did that messed that up. But anyway, that was a really long Marvel rant and review about Black Panther. Shout out to the entire cast, entire crew, everybody who did post-production, live production, makeup, sound design, costume design, all the actors, directors, lighting, grips, gaffer, anybody involved with this movie. Thank you for what you did.
Okay, that's how.
I don't know what he's doing anymore, but thank you for giving us this movie, because it was incredible.
Like, it is amazing.
Yeah, I told you would like it. If I'm saying consumer wise, I'm giving it 10 out of 10, but critic in me gives it a little more. But yeah, either way, go see this movie. Like, you will not regret it. I guarantee you that if and when they drop this as a hard copy, I'm buying this. Like, dude, I think they need to have the double feature. Like, I'm 100%. God damn it, I'm 100% getting them as a double feature when the first time I see them. That's our little take. Like, we didn't sit here and talk for an hour and a half.
It's my little take,
That was our take on the new Wakanda Forever. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode on the podcast. Comment down below if you have other stuff you want us to talk about. I got a lot of ideas, but we can always be talking, because we just be talking. Yeah. Get these available early on my Patreon, by the way. I'll also link these guys in the description, and probably on the screen, probably on those spots over there. Yeah.
Or here or there. Who knows where it'll end up
Probably
being.
right there. And probably
maybe
right
right
there.
There and there. I hate that it's fucking weird on my end. Like that's one thing. Like of
maybe
course
right down there.
Oh no, like
Wait,
that's an
yeah,
issue.
Josh. Wait,
This-
you point down right there, and like see you point there, like
Yeah.
see no, point the other way.
Fucking Discord, quit.
Point your
here.
left
I hate
hand.
this shit.
Use your left hand. Go
This is my-
lower.
Oh, it is not.
Point at
What
the
the
black
fuck?
space. Point below. Go lower. Move your arm forward. God damn it! Your camera's shit. Your camera's shit.
It's because of the green screen. Give me a second. It's because of the screen. Fuck
Oh my
it.
god.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Oh.
There we go. This will work better. Ah! No!
Still
Fuck!
doesn't work that well. Still doesn't work that well.
Ah, got it!
Oh my god.
It's working!
Oh god. Okay. Yeah, that's a good enough place to end it. Like and subscribe. Check
We're gonna
that
have
link
to
in the
blur that.
Patreon. Check these dudes out in the description.
Hello.
Oh my god. And we will see you
I
guys
hate
in
that it
another.
blurs just.
Shut up! I'm talking!
No, fuck you!
That's all, folks.
Thank you for watching. We will see you in another. Shut up. Listen to my intros. God damn it.
Oh, my cheeks hurt from smiling. That's a good one.
This is Isaiah.